Hey, everybody, just wanted to pop on really quickly and talk about this this cake mix. So, this is new. This is a new product. It's just come out on the market. I don't know how long ago it came out, but I just learned about it. And I started digging into the ingredients, and I think you'll be surprised at this. At first glance, I felt like, yeah, it's probably okay because the ingredients seem pretty straightforward. But then when I took a better look at it and got better understanding of it, I realized that there are definitely some concerns here that this is not a great option for making a cake. If you want a great option for making a cake, follow my Facebook page, Maximum Health. There are tons of cake recipes on there, and they are good, and they don't have anything bad in them. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go over the ingredients now, and we'll dig deep into them together, and I'll show you exactly why you have to read every label and really understand what those labels mean, because sometimes at first glance it seems like it's all right. I mean, it's got almond flour and it's got to be great, right? Well, no, not necessarily. So let's take a look at these ingredients. Okay, so here I have the ingredients up here in the top left-hand corner, right up there. You can see the red. So the first ingredient is erythritol. Now, this is the first thing that really stood out to me, was that the first ingredient was erythritol. I have never seen anything with the first ingredient erythritol except for a bag of erythritol. So that is super concerning. Now, listen, I don't shop around for a lot of processed food, so I don't really know. I'm sure there's plenty of other things out there that have erythritol as the first ingredient, but this one I have found, and that's a lot. So let me tell you about what erythritol really is. We know it's a sugar alcohol, and for some reason, those words seem like they're not a big deal, but when you separate the two words, you have sugar and you have alcohol, neither of which are great for you. So that first red flag right there. So when erythritol is used in other products, for instance, something that's sweetened with erythritol, but it's not the primary ingredient, it is typically used at 1,000 times the natural levels found in food or in our bodies. Now, if erythritol is found in fructose, it's fermented sugar, basically. It's found in fructose, so it is normally occurring in fruit, and even they found it even in our red blood cells. So it is something that we are acclimated to, but it is a teeny tiny amount that's in there. So in typically sweetened foods with erythritol, it is in there at 1,000 times more than what's naturally occurring in the plant. So I mean, that right there that's alarming, because that's excessive. A 2021 study showed that erythritol causes a spike in blood levels that basically increases the stickiness of your platelets, and just long short of what that does is that can cause blood clots. It can increase your risk for stroke or heart attack or other vascular issues. So, I mean, if you consider that this cake mix has the number one ingredient as the chemical that's causing this, okay? The number one ingredient, that means that's the majority of what's in there is erythritol. So erythritol is, we're gonna move on, but erythritol is not great, especially not used in high quantities like this. Almond flour, great. Okay, it's not organic or non-GMO, so there's a good chance that there's insecticides there. Coconut flour. Now, allulose. So I looked up some information about allulose. Allulose, I feel like most people think is probably the safest. And I would probably agree with that, of all of the sugar substitutes that are not like just natural fruit dehydrated and turned into ground up and turned into like a sweetener type, but it's still just dehydrated fruit. Allulose is a chemically produced sweetener. It's also bleached. That's why it's white. So if it's white, it's been bleached with chlorine. But it is naturally occurring in figs, raisins, wheat, and maple syrup. It's considered generally regarded as safe by the FDA, which, I mean, put as much water in that as you want. It does not create an insulin spike. So when you take it, it does not create an insulin spike. But the side effects of what it takes to make it white are not great. On top of the other chemicals that are used to produce it, and they're not going to tell you about that in there. Okay, so the next one that I want to talk about is the xanthan gum, and I understand it says less than 2%, but once you know what xanthan gum is, then you don't want even 1% of that in your food. Xanthan gum is used in wallpaper glue, fungicides, herbicides, insecticides, tile and grout, and oven and toilet bowl cleaners. So what do all of those things have in common? They're all caustic. And so, just saying, xanthan gum is not something that I want in my body at 2% or 60%. I don't want any of it in there. So just to wrap this all up, just read your labels, understand what these words mean. There is the other stuff in there I'm not a huge fan of. The stevia is, it's bleached. So just make sure you're taking a look at your labels before you're buying these things. And my fear is that people are going to buy these cake mixes and they're going to say, oh, well, I have 16 carbs left today that I can consume. I'm going to have 4 servings of that cake. See where it adds up? That's kind of scary. And I mean, to think that amount of erythritol can truly cause you to have a heart attack, stroke, or other vascular issues. So please beware when you see these new things come out. They're not always really safe. Take care. Thanks for watching.